Okay, cool. So my name is Kareem. I'm originally from Palestine. I grew up in Syria and then I moved to Dubai. I studied, I worked, and I met my lovely wife, and then I moved to Switzerland.
Okay, well, that's the nutshell right there. So we're going to dig a little deeper again. We've already been through this one. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
tell us what had you leaving. What made you leave Syria, and what So
Yeah, cool. So here's the thing, like in Syria, I was categorized as a refugee, because I'm originally Palestinian, and do what happened in 1948. My grandfather had to leave, so we were considered as
Mhm.
refugees. So while we were growing up there, we all the time had this kind of like idea that we have to go to the Gulf, find a job, get better opportunities, and continue our life.
Mhm.
But in Syria, the war started, and I had to be a little bit shorter in plan because when it started, the revolution or the civil war, when it started there, it
Mhm.
started to become nastier day after day.
Mhm.
So I had no chance but to go to Dubai because my dad used to work in Abu Dhabi for like 40 years. Since the
Mhm.
70s he was there. So it was slightly easier for him to bring us there.
Mhm.
It wasn't easy anyways. It was super tough for him because when your country is under war, they will, like, all countries will not let you in, or they will make it super, super hard for you to get in.
Mhm.
Look at the Ukrainians, for example, or like any kind of like war, that's
Mhm.
happening. So that's why I had to go to Dubai because of like better opportunities, of course, to continue my education. When I went to Dubai, I started from scratch. So in Syria, I was studying computer science,
Mhm.
but when I went to Dubai, computer science was super, super expensive. So I had no other option but to study business because it's kind of like a little bit like slightly cheaper. And some universities, they had some scholarships. But
Mhm.
to be able to get this kind of scholarship, you have to have perfect English, because you have to do the IELTS or the TOEFL.
Mhm.
And both of them are not so easy. So I did it. I got the scholarship and I continued my studies, and it was pretty good. And then I found a job, and yeah, it was like that. But yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so a little, so now you were considered refugees in
hmm
Syria, and even your father moved there, and then you were born in Syria. You were actually born and raised in
Mm,
Syria, correct?
yeah,
But you were
yeah,
still considered refugees. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
okay, just a perspective issue, because I mean, we in the U.S. we have a much different perspective. You're a refugee, and then the next generation behind you, they may, I mean,
Mm,
they're not classified as
yeah,
refugees
yeah.
any longer. You're what we call second
So
generation Americans.
yeah,
Is what we call it, and it's just a way of saying you're more part. You're more accepted. You're more a part of the culture.
mm.
You've been raised in our culture of the United States, so you would understand it better. So do you feel like you were maybe you were prejudiced against as a refugee in Syria?
No, no, to be honest, like here's the thing. So you have all these countries, they consider us as refugees because of the right of
Mm-hmm.
returning back, because we have been kicked out from Palestine, and then they say, okay, when these people stay as refugees,
Mm-hmm.
according to the United Nations, they still have the right to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But me being a refugee in Syria, I was actually like all the others. So I used to have like free education,
Mm-hmm.
free healthcare. I used to be treated like all of them. I think the only thing that we couldn't have is just to become president. This is the only
Okay.
thing. But when my friends, like all the Arab friends, when they see me, we have different accents, but when they
Right.
see me, they think that I am Syrian because I speak like Syrians. My accent's like Syrian accent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm more like Syrian than a Palestinian.
Right.
That's why it's a little bit confusing even for my wife. She said like, yeah, but like why you are Palestinian? And even the people in the Swiss government, they said they like, yeah, why he has like travel documents, like Syrian travel documents. He should have a passport.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then, like we had to explain that, hey guys, yeah, I'm a refugee according to them, but I have the same rights as Syrian people.
Okay.